Hello everyone.
Hello.
Hi guys, how are you? Oh, because we're slightly delayed.
Yeah, stream starts in now.
It's okay. Well, it's our first stream.
There we are.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Okay. Please bear with us. It's our first day. So, hey everyone, my name's Ari. I'm the community manager here for Neighbor Games, and welcome to the stream. This is
Hi.
Nikita. I'm sure he needs no introduction, but in case you wandered in here by accident, he is the creator of Hello Neighbor. And we also have Adam, our creative video producer, with us, also known as Mad Eye Yokai. You may recognize him from our devlogs and Tiny Tips videos last few months. So we're all here to hang out and answer your questions and play some alphas. We have a lot of questions. You guys are putting us to work. So we're going to try to answer as many as possible. And they've been submitted on our Discord channel over the past few days, and also in our YouTube comments. So we'll be choosing from those as well as checking out the chat here and hanging out with you guys. And if you do want to enter questions or hang out on Discord while this stream is going on, it is discord.gg/neighborgames. We also have a channel just for the live stream Q&A. And, well, hey, let's get started. So Nikita's going to be booting up an alpha here for us to play and hang out and watch. And we're going to be just shooting him your questions.
So, if there's any like sound difficulties or someone could not hear us or hear not as good as intended, you should write to the chat so we could fix it.
Yes, please.
We have moderators looking at the chat, so let us know if there are any technical difficulties.
So now the game is booting up. So it's the pre-alpha.
Starting with old school.
Ooh.
All right.
So I'm not sure if anyone knows, but the pre-alpha and the whole Neighbor game in general was actually my first game to develop. I do artwork for some mobile games, but the whole Neighbor was my first game, and I'm really proud it turned out to be so good that everyone loved it, and I love it
this
myself.
Is your baby.
It is firstborn baby. And the pre-alpha, when I looking at it right now, it's fun to see. Well, it has no shadows except the sunlight, because we do not know how to use an engine when we started the game, and it was new for everyone. And when we decided to make a build of pre-alpha, it was lagging really hard, and it has like 15 FPS, and we just decided to turn off all the shadows in the game so it could run, and now it is run kinda okay for our first actual demo. Oh, the crickets.
Hey Nikita, how long did it take you to make the pre-alpha?
It's actually a very nice question, because there was a lot of iterations before the actual pre-alpha that everyone sees, because I think I have like a few small clips in my YouTube channel. I will provide link later if someone is interested. And there was a lot of differences until it became as it is in pre-alpha, because it has different house layouts, different mechanics. We started really pretty simple, with just like a general Unreal Engine dummy to chase you, and we tried different types of algorithms for AI to search the way, to navigate. And I think the game had like a few internal iterations before pre-alpha, for like I think for maybe like a half a year, I guess, or maybe a bit more, until the pre-alpha came to be. Because Unreal Engine was it was like at the end of 2014, I guess, and the Unreal Engine was pretty new, like Unreal Engine 4. I mean, it was like 4.7, I guess. And yeah, and there was a lot of different Hello Neighbors before actual pre-alpha, but it was all us trying to kind of get a hold of what engine is capable of. Because back then we did only mobile games, and I started a Hello Neighbor was like was in a team within a team. We had like a big team of like 10 or more people doing mobile games, and me and the developer. It was only two of us. We started like a separate project, and everyone was hooked when they saw what we were doing. That was really awesome.
So actually, it looks like Festive Vids HD in our Discord asked for Nikita, what was your original inspiration for the game's concept? Did you draw inspiration from movies, books, television, games, or even real people or places?
Good question.
Yeah, it is actually. There was a few games that were inspired to do the Hello Neighbor, but all of them are not, I think, obvious. The first one is the Hitman, codename 47, the first one. It is not too much of a Hello Neighbor, but when I played it, my PC was very slow. When I played the codename 47, it was barely reaching like 20 FPS, but it was so good because I liked the way mechanics worked, because I had like no proper way to beat the level, and there was one particular level which I always like remember and going back to in my mind thinking about Hello Neighbor is one particular mission when you should eliminate like I'm not sure, I don't remember actually who was those people, but like a few people, and there was like, I'm not sure, like tens of ways you could pull that off. You could eliminate one of them and change the clothes and just eliminate the other, pretending that you are the one. Or you could like sneak some items in the separate room and sneak there later to finish the job. And it was I was just overwhelmed of how much game could provide to you. And I think this is the biggest.
Like the possibilities.
Yeah. And the second one, in a way, there was a game for the first PlayStation. I played it there. It was Sheepdog and Wolf, I guess. It was like a Warner Brothers cartoon game where you play as a coyote and trying to catch the sheep from the dog, and dog is like guarding like a lot of sheep, and you just need to steal one, and each level is like a puzzle you could solve to catch the sheep while a dog is not seeing you, and it is not too much like Hello Neighbor, but it's pretty. It have sort of feeling of it, and I think the cartoonish style of Sheepdog and Wolf also kind of inspired me to create like a cartoonish but also very intense game, because even though it's cartoonish, it's pretty intense and fun. Yeah, I think it's the answer is about these two games is the biggest inspiration behind the Hello Neighbor. Although the main concept of like doing stuff that a game is not supposed to do, that was big thing for Hello Neighbor. I tried to pull it off, and I think the Portal game was the biggest inspiration in that sense, to show me that you could generate such a feeling in person. When I played the games as a child, I always tried to break them. Like when I played like in the racing games, I tried to somehow clip out of bounds of the racetrack and stuff. Yeah, and it gives me this particular feeling, and I think anyone who doing that as well know what I'm talking about, and it's just so satisfying to break the game, and I could like spend literally hours.
It's fine, break it.
Yeah, like
Sorry,
literally hours trying to break the game, even more than playing the game itself, and that feeling that you could break the game, but actually the game constructed the way that it's waiting for you to break it, to beat it, and I think that is the second, like the big part behind Hello Neighbor that inspired me to create.
So going off on the creation of Hello Neighbor, I have a character question for you from Peterson Games YouTube on our YouTube channel, and he says, "Who made the neighbor? So how did you create Mr. Peterson in particular?"
Well, the funny thing is, it's kind of just came out to me. I wanted to create a character with specific like characteristics, and I just started to sketch faces, and I tried like, I don't know, like tens of faces, and at some point I just stopped because it just clicked, and I saw his face, and it just perfect the way I wanted it to be. And after that I wanted to make it in 3D, and when I started to model it, for some reason it was too hard for me to model as is, and I modeled it in the Blender, and I love Blender, best thing ever.
That's a good tool.
Yeah, and I tried to shape it out of clay, and then 3D scanned it, and then retopologized in Blender, so it could be perfectly the way I wanted it to be. And for some reason, to shape it out of clay was easier than actual modeling, and then I just scanned it with my phone. I'm not sure, there was like 123D app or something that allowed you to take multiple photos of the
and then it like stitches it.
Yeah, and then it creates like a 3D model, a rough shape, and then I retopologize it into the model, you know. But actually there was like a few iterations that I think some people found on the internet. There was like a neighbor with a blue top and dark blue pants. It was like the pre version, and then we worked together with Elena, our artist, to create this like eccentric neighbor look with his really fancy clothes, and after that you get what you get. The neighbor has born. So let's go into the basement. The funny thing about this really bright light, when we tried to make the build, and everyone was like, yeah, you should go to the basement and that's your goal, and we thought that even though it's like internal, and this pre-alpha was never intended at first to be public, and we thought maybe we could somehow drive player, even though it's like a prototype, drive player to the basement to make it to make player want to go to the basement, and I couldn't imagine better than just a bright light to attract player. Yeah, and there was like a cheap trick to spawn in neighbor behind the player. And one thing about that, I always try to avoid scripting and like teleporting of the neighbor, and there was no any instance when it happens on purpose in any version of the game, except only like a few instances, just like this one. When I go close to this door, the neighbor will catch me just because he spawns behind you, and you can't do anything about it. But other than that, the neighbor is always.
So it's the one intentional jump scare?
Yeah, kinda like that, yeah. So we are in the game. neighbor.
I like that you basically used the moth theory. Just bright light, go to bright light. Lamp.
To bounce off of that, in Japan, in the grocery stores and in the konbini, the convenience stores, they place like the most expensive items under the bright lights because they know everyone's gonna go to the bright lights. So if you put your most expensive items there, you're gonna get like a bunch of customers buying like the most
So-
expensive like food, drinks, and it's a common tactic over there.
So everybody is secretly a moth confirmed. Or very predictable.
Oh, I got you.
Mm.
Now it's daylight.
I am going to absolutely butcher this 100%. But Backspace, and I'm prefacing this because, but Backspace asked, is the guest based on a Schnabelperchten?
Yeah, it's I think it's Austrian folklore, and
Oh.
it is in a way, yeah. When I tried to create the guest, like his general appearance, and I had like this particular vision of you know, like those creepy Halloween costumes of like 100 years back, like in a
Oh, just the very weird Victorian.
yeah, like Victorian
Halloween
era
costumes.
costumes, and
Honestly, please.
Mhm.
they look creepier for us, I guess, than they looked for people 100 years back, probably.
Victorians were weird.
And well, and when I like tried to find some reference and stuff for the guest, and I stumbled upon this this particular thing, and I had like the big thing as a face before that, and when I saw the picture of that, and then I was, that's it, that's exactly what I tried to get a grasp of, and then I just finished it like a basic shape, and again when I talked with Elena, and she even finished it even further to make it fancy.
Fleshed them out. That's cool. I've actually seen quite a few people theorize and ask about that in our Discord over the past like month or so. So as many times as I've seen that name, I still can't say it right.
Me neither.
I'm gonna Google it later. I'm pretty sure it's Schnabelperchten. That's what it looks like if you try to say it faster.
Sounds like a tongue twister.
In German.
Steep07 asked, are there any unused soundtracks, music, or sounds of the original Hello Neighbor alphas, like, so that weren't used, like things that just got scrapped or were unreleased?
You sorry, you mean like music or just
Looks like soundtracks, music
soundtrack?
is what it looks like.
I think no. All the music that usually I did most of the music very late, both like for Hello Neighbor and for Hide and Seek, and
So you were making it to go with certain.
yeah, there was no like music in advance. It's like usually I try to figure the main theme for the game, and after that I just record all the stuff. And yes, I record all the music for Hello Neighbor and for for Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek in my room alone. That was fun. Well, except the music for the pre-alpha and the one you hear right now. That was, I think, the best music ever created. It's a shame I didn't write it myself.
You still got time with Hello Neighbor 2.
Yeah, I'm trying.
You got that guitar for us?
You can imagine how much I'm trying to create music that is frightening and fun as this beat, and I found that this has a lot of sounds when we do this pre-alpha on. I don't remember the website. There was like a stock music website, and when I find this particular piece, there was just again, it just clicked, and yeah, this is the neighbor thing.
So I found an interesting question from, pardon me if I mispronounce your name, I'm going to try my best. Abril K on YouTube. How did you come up with Nikki's backstory? Were there any fun facts about his character? And is he going to be involved in Hello Neighbor 2?
Well, the Hello Neighbor story is a quite a big talk. Not only because the stories have a lot of twists and turns, and it was changed a few times since we started with a very basic idea for the story, and then it evolved a few times along the development. And as well as the characters, the neighbor and the Nikki and the others. It's hard to say how exactly Nikki popped, because he changed his role a few times, especially in the beginning of the game. And I always wanted to make a talk about the early stories, early scripts of the game, because they are interesting, and they have a lot of fun stuff inside. And I think probably we should sometime in the future create another stream with this talk. It might be really fun to explore what Hello Neighbor might be.
I could tell there was a lot of story changes based upon the different cutscenes, and how you had one cutscene with, it felt like a movie in Hello Neighbor, in the second alpha with the tutorial series, and then the cinematics changed for Alpha 3 when it was just completely dark, and then Alpha 4 you had this ominous letter coming through, and it was what's going on here, and then the ending. So I could definitely feel some changes in the plot in the game's development. So I think that'd be a really cool stream to have one of these days.
And if you look for in the pre-alpha for small Easter eggs, and I love Easter eggs, because I love break the games, and usually when you break the game there is an Easter egg, and I do not want to spoil all of them, and most of the people probably know many of them. Yeah.
Secrets.
Yeah, but for example, this particular bottle, well, not this particular, but any bottle of like that on the map have a Styx name on it, and if I'm not mistaken, this is for either god of death or something in some cultures. Sorry for if someone know what it is, and I'm saying something wrong, but it was 5 years ago, and I'm not sure exactly. But I think it's the god of death, and it's not just for fun, as well as this fallen angel sign. I'm not sure if I have binoculars in the pre-alpha, and I think pre-alpha did not have binoculars yet, but there is a fallen angel sign on purpose as well. There's a lot of oh my god. Wait a second, I gotta run. Okay.
Fascinated with sticks.
So Kevin Robinson on YouTube asked, is the setting for Hello Neighbor in Russia? Does it have a setting, or is it kind of ambiguous? I suppose Springfield.
It is kind of, well, Hello Neighbor, it's hard to say without spoiling a lot of the story where Ravenbrooks are.
Fair.
And there is and I think it's there is no actual difference whenever the story takes place, either it's Moon Russia or any other place in the universe, because this game is
it exists in your heart.
Kind of like that. Yeah.
That is deep.
It's not about actual place on the planet. Although the Raven Brooks and the Hello Neighbor style in general was inspired by kind of like multicultural, I guess. And there's a lot of stuff that I saw as a child that are really close to me. And there's a lot of stuff I saw in the movies that everyone know, like kind of like mass culture stuff. So I have a hammer, so I could take off the wood planks.
And you smash it with a hammer. Sorry, Emperor's New Groove.
Nothing like causing some property damage. Nothing wrong with that.
What was it your friend said, Adam? Just a little light property damage or something?
Oh, yes. Matt and Dewey's getting chased, and he said, guys, just cause property damage. Distract the neighbor. I'm not sure where he got that from, but, you know, it's a good quote.
Actually, this sign is also is a small Easter egg. And oh god, and I lost. And, oh.
I think I just saw the neighbor.
Yeah, and the game just crashed. No problem.
So, was that the Easter egg? Like, you find this and the game crashes, like that's part of it? Or just...
That actually, it's not part of it, but I played, when Five Nights at Freddy's came out, and there was a few Easter eggs that made the game crash on purpose, and I think that was really brilliant, and I always wanted to integrate something like that, but who knows. And we're back.
Welcome
Yes.
back.
So let's redo the intro section.
Oh, here's
Yeah.
one. So from... Oh, I lost it. I scrolled too far.
You got it.
From
believe in you.
C and me on our Discord. How did you come up with the puzzles / fear rooms?
That's actually a fun question, because well, the fear rooms, they are. I don't want to explain a lot of Hello Neighbor story, because it might spoil it for those who haven't played it. Well, not haven't played, but haven't figured like a lot of stuff that are hidden there. But I'll try to do it spoiler free as much as possible. Well, the fear room itself appeared to be how to explain this? Well, they appeared kind of naturally, I guess, because at some point I knew that the character will struggle with his like personal problems, like social problems, and like different types of fears that are usually with people who had like some kind of trauma in the childhood, and it was like fear of darkness, social fears that are represented in like a supermarket fear room, like school fears, because kids might get be bullied and stuff, and pretty early in development, even though the story evolved, I knew that the player will, like character will need to traverse all this like fears to conquer them and to fight like the big evil, and I just tried to kind of research what people with childhood trauma would experience, what kind of fears. And here they are, and there was one particular fear that was not in the game, but there was like its alpha version of that fear room. It was a fear factory, it's called, and it wasn't finished and it was scrapped because well, it had its difficulties in terms of development and in terms of like a gameplay mechanic, and we decided it's easier to scrap it because to make it work we gotta change it like from the top to bottom, and we decided not to do that because it might consume a lot of time, like unreasonable amount of time, and we decided to scrap it because it was not that crucial for the story as the other fear rooms, like social fears and fear of darkness and fear of school. Fear of school. Yeah. It's not, yeah.
No, I'm not laughing about that. I'm laughing just as Skylar asked, "How's your weather?"
Snowy. Very snowy.
Oh yeah, you're in the middle of a blizzard.
Yeah, I had to shovel 2 cars out. That was
Ooh.
fun and cold. We got clobbered with like 16 inches. So, I
Not
was
bad.
freezing cold.
I can't even imagine that much snow. Like, we don't get that here.
Lucky. I'd love to live there.
I mean, I'll trade you.
Let's do it.
And then Nikita's like, "I'm Russian. What are you even?"
Well, it's actually it's there's funny thing about that, and I always thought, yeah, like Russian. I had like a minus 30 in the town when I grew up. Sometime, not like every winter. Each winter it like
Not
minus.
like when it gets so cold that you have to like do certain things to your car.
Yeah, and actually a funny story about the car. My brother started his car in the morning to go to the job after that freezing night was minus 30, and he's like I'm not sure how to say it, like the mirrors, side mirrors, they're cracked because of it
Oh
was
my
too
God.
cold at night. Yeah, and he was like
Like-
sending me pictures. Look at that. Mirrors are crashed. But the funny thing is, even though it's like a really cold temperature, it's still kind of tolerable. But for past few years, I live near the Amsterdam, and it's like it's when it's winter and it's fall, it's always like fall here.
Windy.
It's rainy, windy, and pretty wet. And this, even though it's like winter minus 5 degree, and it's not that much compared to like minus 15 I get usually, it's still for some reason feels much colder than the minus 15, and I just struggle
Wow.
each winter. I just put like 2 sweaters, hat, like a scarf, double gloves, and it's still freezing, and I don't know what to do about it. So Russian or not, it's the Netherlands weather.
You can buy the hand warmers that you put in your pocket or your glove.
Well, those are always nice.
Yeah, they're really
I
great.
probably should, because sometimes I
So,
use gloves at home.
Male Nikita hand warmers. It looks like Funtime Rocky asked, "What was the neighbors alpha car based off of Stephen King's Christine?"
Oh,
That's actually a nice question. I think I don't remember, and I don't want to say not truth, but I think it might. This particular the pre-alpha, like before art style renovation, we had this type of car, and I think we might talked about it to like make it kind of referenced by this Stephen King car. It might, just like we had the doll of the in the Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek is loosely based of the infamous Annabelle doll. A little bit.
Yeah.
Just
That's like not my favorite. Ugh. I'm not like super weirded out by a lot of supernatural things. But the Annabelle story, it's a lot.
yeah. the funny thing, when we worked at Hello Neighbor, and it's I just do this anyway, but there was like times when I just oh my god, the neighbor's running for me. Wait a second. And I was just looking a lot of like those TV shows and the YouTube shows about and there's like ghosts and the like creepypastas and stuff, and I think it was it had like pretty heavy impact on Hello Neighbor in general and the general vibe of the game.
Actually, someone asked me a question, so since it's my first question, I'm gonna...
Oh, take it away.
So Holiday Meme 92 asked, what is Ari's favorite Hello Neighbor alpha? I am actually gonna say the Hello Neighbor Alpha 1.5 because it is the first alpha that or Hello Neighbor 2 Alpha 1.5, and I do say that because it is the first alpha that I have gotten to work on extensively. Since I recently came on as CM 4 or 5 months ago, I don't know, a while.
Congratulations.
In quarantine, who knows, like, what is time? It's an illusion. But so I think that one's kind of special to me because, well, it's the first time, you know, I met everybody on the team like extensively and got to hang out with you guys personally, and so that's very cool for me, and so I would say that's why it's special. Also Ember.
Yes, Ember.
I get one Ember per stream.
Oh,
Adam,
found an interesting question. So this is more about game design, Nikita, if you're down for answering this. So I'm not sure how much you were involved with this part, but how did you design the puzzles? And this is from C and Me on YouTube.
Well, I tried to design them. I'm not sure if it's what the question about. I tried to design them in reverse, trying to put like the general goal of the player first, like go into the basement, and then I thinking about how could I prevent player from going to that, like put some like lock on it. Okay, open lock. What should I do with the key? It should be hidden somewhere, and I just tried to like create like a tree with backward steps of what player should do to reach his goal, and after that I tried to kind of scale it to the multiple ways to reach that, like multiple three ways to reach the final. And there was also one thing as well. I'm not sure how to call it, but the thing is I tried to leave kind of like the gray area in the game that everyone who played it still could find ways to beat it that was not intended originally. But I watched a lot of streams. I think I watched all of them. Like, how many streams have you watched? Yes. And well, if I see something that player could beat the game or like reach some particular goal in a matter of seconds, and I intended it to be at least a few minutes, and then I kind of like sneakily tried to change the level design in the next updates, so people would not use it. Not because I want to like make people's life harder, but I just wanted to for them to explore the game. Even though I really impressed with a lot of really cool ways to challenge the game, and there was few ways to beat like the Act 2 in the original game that I decided to leave as is, because even though they allow you to beat the game like to Act 2 in a span of like seconds, you need to spend a lot of time in the game to make it in a few seconds. That makes it's really hard anyway, and that's why I left it. And there's a lot of way you could beat Act 2 using
that's
like
what I love
glitches.
I was gonna say that's what I love about games these days is that, you know, it's like writing a paper. You know, you might write something and you intend to mean like this one idea, you want to get this one idea across, and then someone else reads it and they interpret it differently, or they say, oh, I actually read it in this way and got this other meaning out of it. And just like with video games, you might design the game to be solved in one particular way, and then a very excited fan plays the game and they're like, hey, I actually found another way to beat the puzzle, and then that expands upon the game and you're just like, oh wow, I can actually leave this in or I can change it, you know, in an update. And that's just so amazing with gamers and video games, is that you never know what's going to happen when you play something, and neither does the developer, which is just so cool nowadays.
Yeah. It's actually crazy how games are evolved even in this like 5 year period since the first Hello Neighbor started. It's crazy. Couldn't imagine what games would be in like in 10 years, because I really like this like neural network stuff, and there's a few papers I saw about like showing the video to the neural network, and after like hours of learning, it could create a game based on a video that you could play.
Ooh.
Even though it's like basic, and that it was like the tennis, just regular tennis, and there's a lot of videos people playing in the tennis, and then a neural network figured the rules of the game, like cut out each player somehow. Like there was like few neural networks, one to cut out, one to understand the rule and stuff, and then it just created the controls, and you could just like basic tennis. You could just move around, kick the ball back, and there's AI kicking ball back to you, and it looks like it's created sprites created from the videos it had. But it is just mind blowing. I can imagine like in a 20 years you could sit to your like something futuristic TV console and say like, I want to play the funny racing game, and the neural network creates this game on the fly, and I really
Crazy.
wait for that.
It's a wild concept.
Just
It is.
games on demand from our imagination. We're like, I want to play
Yeah.
a funny game that has chairs that can talk to you and jump scare me and fly.
This just sounds like lucid dreaming at this point.
It
Like,
is.
at what point is this lucid dreaming?
Also inspired from that game we played in the Secret Neighbor, the the chairs we were like playing with like objects. It was in Secret Neighborhood News, and we were like objects jumping on each
Prop.
other. The chairs, yes, prop wars. It reminded me of that a little bit.
I wanted to call it prop pop, because you're like,
Prop
or
pop.
prop hop.
Prop
prop
pop. I
pop.
like that. Prop pop. We can't say prop because trademark, but
Is it actually?
prop pop. I think it's trademarked. I could be wrong though, but prop pop.
Prop hop sounds like sock hop.
Sock. What is a sock hop? I've heard that expression before, but
It was
I don't
like
really understand.
it was like a dance thing that people would do in the 20s or the 50s, or I don't know. Like, I'm getting my time zone times messed up, but I think it just basically meant like a specific dance party at some point in the past.
Probably with socks, I'm guessing.
Who knows? So Fear Mayak in Discord asked one more question: what is the light pole in pre-alpha in the backyard of SOSAD? Was it part of a puzzle?
Oh.
The light pole where?
It says the light pole in the pre-alpha in the backyard of SOSAD.
The reason that some people call in the neighbor sosed, it's because when in Russian the neighbor is sosed. But the
Okay.
funny thing is that I think the pre-alpha build have like Unreal Engine have like blueprints, like bits of code, kinda. If you're not experienced with the Unreal Engine, but we have like blueprint of the neighbor, and we called it all blueprints usually called like BP underscore and something, so you could work with it easier. And the neighbor blueprint called BP underscore сосед, just in English. And it's because I think we're just having fun. And when people tear up the game to pieces when it came, just to find all the funny stuff inside, and they found that the blueprint called the сосед, and I think everyone or some people started to call him сосед just for fun. So the light bulb on the backyard of the neighbor in pre-alpha. I couldn't remember any light bulb here. Is there any? There is no light bulb. There is a balcony though, which I do not remember. He closed the door. Okay.
Trying to find a question.
There's so many.
Oh, here's an interesting one. From the Nanor guy, or Nanor, I hope I pronounced that right, the Nanor guy on YouTube. Were any of the characters in the books planned from the beginning?
No. You mean like in the beginning from all?
I would say
beginning?
like the beginning of the game's development. That's how I'm interpreting this question.
Yeah. Well, no. Because the books were created later, and oh no. Wait a second. I need to get. Okay.
Right, he has the hard job. We're just like,
He has
oh,
to
yeah,
concentrate and
that's
talk at the
what-
same time. We're just feeding him questions and watching the stream and having a good old laugh.
Yeah, right. I have tea, and then Nikita's just like, I'm fighting for my.
So Nikita, if you have to run and be like, we totally understand. We won't take offense. You're good.
Well, about the characters, yeah, because the books were created later, and we, even though right now we are working pretty hard together to tie it into the big universe, but back then when the original game created, I never thought that it would be such a big game, and it would evolve into like a huge franchise with the books and the cartoons and stuff, and I still can't believe it.
It's very, very wild.
Yeah, no.
Oh, and to follow up on that, I lost the person's name, but I thought this was a really great question. How did you feel when you suddenly realized that Hello Neighbor was becoming this gigantic franchise with books and like the animated series on YouTube, for example? Like, how did you feel when you first saw that?
Well, I think it's still kind of slowly coming to me, like the realization of what's going on. But I think I haven't admit it yet, and I don't know how much time will pass until I realize how big the game became. Well, the answer in the question is I still can't believe it. So, oh my God, the neighbor threw something into the window. Okay, yeah, let's in any situation just go back to sleep.
Yeah, we're on a slight delay, so whenever you say, "Oh, the neighbor's after me," I'm looking at stream like, "Where?" And it's like 8 seconds later, like, "There's the action." Okay.
Okay. It's getting harder. The funny thing about the early versions of the Hello Neighbor, that the game became even harder when you lose, and as you can see right now, I'm losing a lot, and the neighbor is doing a lot of stuff because the game each time you get caught, the neighbor kind of reassemble stuff, and I think it was until the alpha 3, I guess, that I changed it to neighbor actually doing stuff if you successfully tricked him and ran away, and after that he trying to put some traps to make you not run away next time. But this game is hard. Okay.
I have to give you props for the Alpha 3, just being able to, I guess the word is juggle, because you guys had so many things in the reworks, like the lighting was getting reworked, some of the game assets were getting redesigned, and then like the AI algorithm as well was getting reworked for the neighbor. And even though you guys had those like setbacks, you guys said, hey, like let's make the game dark to immerse the player and like hide the unfinished assets. So way to be like super creative and get the game out to fans while keeping up with the development. I thought that was genius when I learned that. And I didn't realize that at first. I was like, really, they did that intentionally? Like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, hard times need hard decisions. The funny thing about this part, this is like the proto of the fear rooms in a way. It's like the nightmares that the character have here. And well, for some reason I didn't loop the music and it just stopped, and that was unexpected. But the funny thing about that music, that particular sound, the creepy sound, if you heard that right now, I knew that I need to put here something creepy, because when you check the doors closed, and I wanted to play just to get used to being able to just start and walk out, and like in a few minutes after the plane he just can't, and he just only way he could just can explore the environment, just go to the window, and there is a neighbor waiting for him. It's not that epic without the music right now, but the funny thing about this music, that I thought, how could I make it really creepy, and I knew that I do not have like a lot of musical education. I learned like 1 year playing trumpet in music, and a few years before that I spent
that always gets me.
It's a giant hand.
Few years, like few months playing trumpet in the other school, and you do not need to have like a proper education to know that the notes that are close to each other, they sound like dissonant. It's sound weird. And if there's like C and C sharp, and I thought, what would be if I play not only like C and C sharp, but like D and D sharp as well as playing C and C sharp, like all the four piano keys together. And it sounded really creepy, and I decided what would be if I play all the notes from like few octaves. And it was like and I opened the MIDI editor where I created this, and I just clicked on all the keys like in a whole range, in nearly whole range of the full piano, and just played all the notes the piano have, like all the notes. And this sound that this complete like appeared when I created it, and it really creepy, and and I decided to put it in this particular scene to enhance the creepiness.
Beautiful.
So basically,
and
how do I make Uncanny Valley but with sound?
Yeah.
Good way to put it. And I didn't know you played trumpet. That's really interesting. And I want to know, Ari, did you play an instrument back in the day?
Yes.
Oh.
I played clarinet.
Ooh.
I was a band nerd. I was a band geek. Like even like you know, the actual like the little outfit with the like not sequins but like the like braided designs at the front. Yeah. Yeah. that was like middle school though.
Oh, it's way back in the day.
Yeah. But clarinet's not like it's really hard on you after a while because your lips get really chapped. So I think I just got lazy and I quit when I got into high school because then I started playing video games and I'm just like, screw band video games.
Good choice. Good choice.
I mean, not to say you can't do both, but
True. I was a drummer back in high school.
Oh.
I can see it.
We should make a band.
Oh,
A
Yeah.
tiny,
I was gonna say,
tiny
all that
band.
means is that we should have like tiny bands.
Tiny band. Play at the office party.
I feel like if we got everyone that used to play an instrument together and we recorded something, it really would be some cursed music that we could use in the next Hello Neighbor.
I could see it though. That'd be fun.
Oh my god, the game became too hard, but it's still beatable and I can do it.
I have faith in you, Nikita.
I loved that part of the game when the neighbor's blueprint sometimes it had like a few like respawn points, and each time the new station starts, the neighbor appears on the map, and a few of spots were outside of the house, and now neighbor like closed all the doors and blocked nearly all the windows, and when he spawns outside he do not have a way to open it from the outside, and he just grabs some of these objects and try to break his own window to just go in. Ooh, I actually forgot about that. After a certain time of playing, the neighbor starts to fixing his car. Oh, interesting. So this game still have secrets even for me. Oh, you could see it right now. He just trying to. Oh, it's so funny.
So Nikita, I have a rather peculiar question, and this sort of ties back into the characters. And I know you drew many faces of the neighbor. Why Mr. Peterson? When did that stick?
You mean the
Where
name?
does the name. Where does the name come from in the equation of making the game? Was that later? Was that like after a certain alpha?
Actually, at first, I tried to create a game as you can see without any like I'm not sure how to explain it. Well, there's no like actual like talking in the game. Everything is like just show you what's happening without actual speaking. And I tried to make the game that when we started the game music, wait a second. Yeah, when we started the game I knew that translating it to different languages would be really hard. And even though we you mean like I mean like really hard because we were like there was only 4 of us making the game, and we did not have enough resources to make it. And I just lost my thought. Wait a second.
It's okay. It's okay.
What were you talked about? Can you remind me?
So I can restate the question.
Yeah,
and state the
yeah.
person's name.
I remember. Yeah, about
Okay,
the language. Yeah, and I knew even though the game would be translated to the like certain amount of languages, there will still will be people who couldn't play the game because it do not have the translation to the language the player want to. And I wanted to create a game that do not require an actual translation. You could play it. You could play Hello Neighbor without knowing any language, because there was no words that like crucial to beating the game. And that's why the all the names and stuff were at first were eliminated. There was only player, the neighbor, and still when I'm like doing my like design documents and stuff, I usually write neighbor with just the capital N, as if it was his name, because I just get used to it so much doing the early versions of the game, calling him just a neighbor, and he's still like, and even like just like the guest. When I created the guest, I instantly named him the guest, and I tried and I like typed his name as it was his name, like with a capital G, and after that, when the game like became big, and there was like books appeared and other stuff, and we understood that even though we could still keep this like no talking thing in the game, we couldn't make it in the books. You couldn't name like in the books and the other like other projects. The neighbor should have the name. It can't be the neighbor anymore. At some point, everything just became too big, and little by little, each character had its name, and now everyone has names, even new characters in the new Hello Neighbor game.
And just to give credit, that question was from East Francis FM. So East Francis, thank you for asking that question. It's good.
So Marcelo Olazaren on YouTube asked, why did you change the art style of Hello Neighbor from being a little more realistic to a little more cartoonish?
Yeah, this question is actually asked quite a lot, and
yeah, I've seen it a few times.
No. The reason we changed the art style is because when we just start making the game, most of us had no idea what to do, and I myself just kind of go with the flow. Everything happened as it happened, and during some time in development, I realized that we never actually spoke about the art style much. We just like, we need like a box, the chair, the radio, and there was not much like actual art production involved, and the artist just created the way they pleased. And at some time in development, I realized that the game, even though it have pre-alpha, have its like pre-alpha only creepiness, because of this half realistic, half cartoon style, I realized that the game has no like pop. You know, when you see a screenshot of the particular game, you could instantly say what game this is. And for some reason, I felt like Hello Neighbor at the early stages. Well, I feel like we could improve on that and change the style, like to make it at least discuss it, and to make it like in a general, have like basic idea behind it. And I sit and I just try to imagine what Hello Neighbor would look like, and I just draw a few pictures, and I think everyone saw them. There was like a kitchen of the neighbor, I guess, and it was the first location I draw. And then Elena, our artist, she built everything in 3D in the game, and we just wanted to just like rough approximation of what I did, without any optimizations, just the general look. And we just looked how it feels during the gameplay, and it feels really nice because it was so cartoonish and just want you to immerse much more. Stopped being like cold, creepy in a cold way. It became like creepy in a fun way. And then after I did that, we talked with the artists, and I said that we need to recreate each asset in the game with a new style, and everyone hated me at first, because everyone could not believe that we should do that, and everyone was like, You gotta be kidding. We will not change each item in the game. But after discussion, we understood that we actually should do it, and every artist artist used every bit of like strength each had to make it really fast, and I'm really glad the way it turned out, because our team have really special people who really love what they're doing, and really like the whole neighbor, and want to make it the best possible. And later in Alpha 2, I guess, we saw like actual players saw like actual changes in the art style.
Interesting. And this is a different sort of question, which talks about game development. I'm curious about this too. Were you restricted in any way of what you were allowed to put in each alpha? And this is from Yella on Discord. So for example, were there certain things you wanted to include in the game but just due to time, or like for story it just wouldn't fit, or things for like age rating? Were there any restrictions you had to like navigate through?
Yeah, I guess so, cause sorry. Oh, wait a second. Oh no. There was like a few things, cause when we created the neighbor at first, we never thought like any age restrictions and stuff, and we just created the game the way we wanted. And there was like a few instances that would not change the game much, but if we exclude it, the rating will go down much. So we cut a few things that barely noticeable for most people, but for some reason they are not allowed at certain age, and we well, for understandable reasons, and we cut those small things, and this allows for a much wider audience to play the game, because those things were not particularly related to the actual game itself.
And it helped. You got a large fan base across many different age groups. So,
well, it's like, you know, if it's a game that have like intentions to be for a certain age, like I don't know, like GTA. It has shooting, racing, and it's really cool game, but it's age restriction for a reason, and you can't make the GTA as it is for like for everyone, was like Gran Turismo rated E for everyone, because there would be no GTA, because it's just the essence of the GTA, and the essence of Hello Neighbor is not about high age, it's just about having fun with the game. And if it would be possible to make it like E for everyone, I would love to do that, because the playing games is just fun. If you can make it playable for everyone, you should make it, I think.
Good motto to have. I like that.
So
I'll be right back. There's a knock on my front door, maybe Amazon or something. Super sorry. 1 second.
To be the guest.
Right. You're talking about everything too much. Don't give away secrets. I'll be right back.
Okay. We won't give away secrets. I promise, guys.
okay, so
I love your doll, by the way. Wow, look at that doll, guys. Like the neighbor doll on Tiny Fox's chair. He's watching her. It's just like, hello. We got some dolls too. We got a butcher neighbor doll, looking pretty cool. I like him. We also have the clown neighbor doll. I think he's pretty rare. I've heard stories that he's hard to find.
it actually is. I do not have one. I always wanted to the clown one, and I do not have one. Though I have the neighbor with the Beatrix eye patch.
Oh, love the eye patch.
Yeah, but
A little hard
but
on too.
yeah.
He's got both eyes. Just it's a fashion.
Yeah. It's the part of the Beatrix costume me and my girlfriend made for this Halloween. If you saw, I made like the guest
Wait,
costume.
that was you?
Yeah, yeah.
I saw the photo. I'm just putting two and two together. That was you. Yo, dude.
Yeah.
How long did it take you two to make those? Those were
Well,
incredible costumes.
the guest costume actually it was like half of day the big thing, and I tried to make. I had like a few for mounts with a flashlight that I used to like to skateboard or to run a bicycle at night, and I just take off the flashlight and attached the beak with like to my face, to my head, and when I open my mouth, the beak would open because it's like my my jaw pushed on the beak. That was fun and not really actually hard. But the Beatrix costume, on the other hand, took a while, I guess, for Julia to make, and she handcrafted the eye patch, and she had like the big wig, and she colored her. She had like this costume, but the Beatrix costume is like a dark blue, but originally it was like, I think it was like beige color or just white, and she colored it to make it like the Beatrix costume.
Oh wow,
That was
that's a lot of work.
fun week.
Yeah. Like I didn't realize Ari until now that Nikita was the one who designed the costumes that were put on the photograph on Twitter and YouTube. I was like, "Wait, that was you?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
So he told me like how long it took to make the
Maybe
costume.
Nikita.
I still I remember when I just joined Tiny Build and I mixed up the two Nikitas because we have an artist named Nikita and we have the Nikita who's the creator of the game. So I was like, "Oh, Nikita, thank you for the art." And he was like, "No, I made the game." I was like, "Oh, my bad." So I was mixing both of them up.
It's your first day and you're DMing the guy who made the game.
Yes. I thought like I didn't realize there were two different people, so I thought, "Oh, it's the creator of the game and the artist. That's amazing." He's like, "No, that's a different Nikita." I was like, "Oh,
Super funny.
yeah." Learn as I go.
The keys behind the TV. The game knows me too well.
Oh, thought you were gonna get away.
You got.
You got neighbored.
You got neighbor.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta
I
commit.
forgot your group has all these like.
That came. You were there when it was born. Like that wasn't a part of our vernacular. That just happened. Like the Secret Neighbor and Hello Neighbor. Like there's just so many great moments. They can just tell your friends about like, "Oh, this one time, like I was so close to escaping the neighbor, and he grabbed me as I was hopping out the window." And you can just make so many like weird and interesting phrases or stories. So that's another reason why I love these games so much. It's a good time.
So
Causing property damage, I see.
oh, he was like going through the fence. Okay. Okay.
He's coming in.
Impossible.
Just waiting. He's going back.
Stop it. We actually had an idea for neighbor to clean his house from the tomatoes. I don't know why, but in the beginning of development, I had obsession with it. So the player could throw, but we never figured how to properly align the tomatoes, and they always turn out in a weird angle after they splash. But we wanted to create like a neighbor cleaning the floor or swiping the like walls of the tomatoes that player could throw, but it was much harder for us as the beginners to create, and we thought, and we just he put the bear trap into my house. Why? Oh god.
So
Okay.
I don't
Right
know
there.
if this can be answered or if it's considered a spoiler. If it is, it's fine. You can just be like, no. But Holiday Me 92 asked, why did you decide to call the weather station Mayak?
That's actually a nice question, and I will try to yeah. I will try to explain it without spoiling much, but well, the Ravenbrooks is loosely based on a certain place, which is called Fisherman's Village, and the Fisherman's Village is, well, it's in Russia, and it's in near the town when I grew up, and I sorta grew up in Ravenbrooks, I guess. And
Grew up in the neighborhood.
and this Fisherman's Village have a name, the Mayak 1, which is in Russian means Lighthouse 1. And it's like a really small, tiny village on the coast of the river, and it's well, it's really beautiful. If you, well, I share some pictures somehow. Well, but wait a second. Neighbor is interrupting me. Okay. And there is an actual abandoned weather station near the fisherman village, just like in the Ravenbrooks, and they just look nearly the same as it looks in the Ravenbrooks. It just also have like big round shaped locator with a green eye drawn on it by the vandals, and it just well, not exactly look in the game because I get to neighborify it. But it is, and I was heavily inspired by this place, and I went there a few times, and I decided to name the weather station Mayak 1, kind of like Lighthouse 1, because this fisherman village was on the same name. But
your childhood.
yeah, but there's something bigger than that. But if I explain it, I'll spoil a lot.
Is that a spoiler?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the
Okay,
the
so
maximum.
no, you don't. No. So we'll move on to a new one then. That's totally fine. I mean, we do have to keep some surprises.
Yeah.
Oh, and I heard you talking about my dude.
Oh, you did hear me talk about that. I love his positioning. It's great.
Yeah, I think it's funny because you can't see it unless I like boop, boop.
Off your head.
And then you got your little guy in the corner. Nikita, is your guy still on your mic, or did you have to take him off? Because
Actually, I don't know. Oh yeah, here he is.
and then we got the big guy in the Washington office. That scares me anytime I have to be there.
How big is he? I've heard stories.
I think with the mascot head, maybe like 6.5 feet.
What? It's life size.
Well, I mean, the guy who's in, you know, the mascot costume for the conventions is, I think, 6'1". So then the head is tall too.
Oh, so it's a mascot costume, not like an actual doll.
Mm-hmm. It's
okay.
No, that would be a lot. But it's to bring to conventions. And right now he is on a mannequin in the office, and occasionally he will move around and scare the bejesus out of you. Every time. I think Alex likes to move him around sometimes to scare people. We're not in the office, we're mostly working from home, but occasionally you go for something and it's just like, yeah.
I actually do a similar thing with my father. My father is a really big gamer, even though he's not like at first glance not the type. He's like a hardcore Soviet, like train driver. He spent like 30 or 40 years driving trains, but he loves games really much, and I think it's because of him I play the game so much, because he was the one who brought the NES at home to play, and he was like the one who played it most of the time. Yeah, but he is a really huge fan of the Metal Gear Solid games, and he loved the
Makes
MGS
sense for
Snake.
like a hardened Soviet man.
Uh,
What games do you like shooting things?
yeah. He's like shooting stuff. And he played the MGS Snake Eater, the third game, and there was like this green frogs all over the game in each location, and if you shoot it, and if you shoot all of them, you'll get like a stealth suit, which make you invisible in New Games Plus. But to find each frog and shoot it is not an easy task. And like there's, if I'm not mistaken, there was like 50 something of them, 54 or 53 in each location. And you you could find like 48, and there was like 5 or 6 that are really hard to either spot or challenging to shoot. Like there was like mission when you driving on a motorcycle, and you should just pinpoint this one small frog on the horizon with your like scope and your sniper rifle, and just while you're moving you should try to shoot it, and if you missed it there is no chance. You should replay this part, but you can't like save and unload. You should kill your driver to restart just to try it another time. And at that time I did not have a PC for some reason at my home. I would just play it on the PlayStation, and me and my father decided to find all of them, but to find them like properly without using the internet and any help. And that was our big task. We just created new game for both of us, and we just like playing this game constantly, changing to find all the frogs. And it was like few weeks of us playing this game, and there was like I'm going back, like I'm waking up, trying to go to the university, and my father started playing in one particular location, and I go like I absent the whole day, and I just going back in the evening, and my father still playing the game, and he's still playing this same very location. He started in the morning just because he hadn't found the frog yet, and he's still searching for it. And we had like a note. Note paper, and we marked and draw like small maps of each frog in each location of the game. And when we finished it, we thought we'd find all of them, and there was like those nasty 5 frogs we couldn't find, and I asked my friend to search the internet where to find them, and we just tired of finding all of them. And after we do that, and we just kind of forgot about it. But I was like a few days after that, I was in a store, and I saw like a small toy of a frog, which looked like nearly and identical for the like it was in MGS. Like it's even the same size, color. It just looked so much like it. And I bought it, and I put it in like a sneaky place inside the apartment, because I lived with my parents at the time. And for a few days
you made a real life Easter egg.
yeah, and I make it
Awesome.
and my father and I like I think it was like whole months I tried to sneak it somewhere in the apartment, and my father like I sitting playing, and he's just coming to me like putting this like frog, and like I found it, and okay. And like next day the frog is like in the freezer, he's just found it and just bringing this back again to me, and that was really fun to do.
That's super fun.
Wow, that is an adorable father-son bonding experience over a video game, and then bringing it to real life with like the frog hunts in your house. That is just That is sweet. Hey Ari, do you have anything like that where video games sort of like bonded you with a family member or a personal friend?
Well, actually, the reason that I play games at all is because growing up in like the 90s, my father was a garbage man, and people would throw out games frequently when they were done playing them.
Oh,
Um, I don't necessarily know why, but they wouldn't save them. So, obviously being a garbage man, occasionally he would bring home PC games because they were kind of expensive at the time.
yeah.
And so we had a really crappy PC, and we were one of the few people in the neighborhood that had it in the beginning. So everybody in the neighborhood would wind up being at our house, and we would play like Worms, Need for Speed. Um, but two of the games that I first remember playing that made me go like, oh my god, rather than like, oh, this is something to do with the kids, was Final Fantasy VII, obviously. Need I say more?
Good game.
And Diablo.
Ooh.
I was maybe 11. And I was playing Diablo, which, now that I think about it, maybe I shouldn't have been.
I won't judge
Because this was back when people were like starting to get a little weird about like the content of games. They're like, should kids be playing this? It's a lot. But yeah, and so then I just followed the Diablo series and branched off into other Battle.net, like StarCraft and stuff. But my dad was more into it than I was. Like, I would wake up to get a drink of water at like 2 in the morning, and my dad's like just playing StarCraft or Diablo, like beating Diablo for like the 50th time.
He's prestiged.
And fun fact, my dad also looks like Jesus. He has like a big brown beard and long brown curly hair, so it's just like Jesus just playing Diablo, which is even funnier.
God mode.
Literal God mode.
Glad you got the joke.
But yeah. So yeah, I do have very fond memories of playing video games with my dad. And he was kind of the guy that got me into them. And now I work for a gaming company, and I'll send him stuff, and I'm like, hey, look what I'm doing. And then he's like, that's so cool.
Oh. That's really cool, dude. For me, my gaming family moment, I would say, is Gauntlet Legends. I don't know if any of you guys know what that is. It's a console game. It was on the Nintendo 64, and I think it was also on the original PlayStation. Maybe it was also like in earlier consoles too, but Gauntlet Legends with my sister. And we would meet up after school every day, and we would just spend hours playing, and we just had a blast. And we got so close to beating the game, and then we moved and we lost the game, so we still haven't beaten it yet.
How mad were you?
I mean,
a little salty.
A little, but like I was like what 12 at the time, and my sister was also getting ready to go to college, so it was time to move on and say, hey, like one of these days we'll beat it again. That was like our family moment with the game.
So Battery None on Discord asked, question just for fun, what about that green light in the window upstairs in the pre-alpha?
Well, I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, we had an idea. Right now playing the pre-alpha, I remember a lot of stuff that I forgot, like the changing scenery of the house during the gameplay and stuff. And I think the green light was at first we had something that will kind of like draw the player attention to explore, and I think it was scrapped due to pre-alpha was like pretty early, and it was like set through, and I had like green light come back in the original game, but and I think most of the people found it, but I will not tell and spoil how it was implemented. Yeah.
There he is outside, fixing his car again.
A very dad thing to do.
I wonder where he'd be going.
And I also wonder, will he be going
Amusement park?
after all the windows will be boarded up? That would be fun.
Oh, no!
Okay. Come on. There is only like a hammer. Oh, he locked me in.
Oh, he did have to work for us. Nice.
So, not necessarily a question for Nikita, but just kind of a nice thing that I just read in our YouTube. Nellie Morose asked, "Thank you very much, Adam, for introducing yourself and showing your identity as well as other members of Tiny Build Games. I really enjoyed listening to your news, even though I'm from Russia and I don't really know your language, but what you've told me is cool." And that's super cool, because I mean, I know this is kind of a new thing that we've been trying to do for everybody, but you know, we're doing our best and we're learning a lot, and I think it's really fun that we get to do this, and it would be cool to do more. If you guys like it, let us know, and we'll definitely try to do more for you guys. And also, yes, Adam, super cool that you're doing all these videos for us, and I think it's been super fun working with you on them.
It's been a blast having you with us, and you know, we got other projects in the works. Not gonna spoil or anything, but you know, like Secret Neighborhood News, it comes out whenever there's an update, and so those will keep on coming. And you know, we're happy you guys like them. We enjoy making them. I can tell you that for one Secret Neighborhood News video, it would take anywhere from planning to filming to editing to adding additional footage because things happen, and then there's other stuff happening in the background as well. 20 plus hours, approaching 30, for editing alone and just getting it all together. So yeah,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, labor of love, but you know, we like hanging out with you guys and making fun videos. And also, like, Ari, to go to the question of, like, you know, thanks for showing our faces, like, you know, we also want to get to know you, the players, more. So we're hoping to, you know, like, show our true sides and say, like, hey, like, you know, we're people, you know, it's not just the Tiny Build logo, but there's real people here playing the games and making the games. So we hope you guys,
hanging out in Discord with everyone, chatting.
Yeah. So we hope you guys like this, because we love it, and that's why we're here. And I know Nikita is super focused right now, and he likes it too. I know. He's shaking his head as he's getting chased by the neighbor. Maybe he doesn't like getting chased, but we know he loves us all. We love you all too.
Yeah, it is became too hard to beat the game.
Oh, that also ties into a question I wanted to ask, and it's been asked by multiple people. At what point did you decide, okay, we need to add a neighbor safe mode for the full game?
What do you mean by safe mode?
It was like
well, it was like friendly mode.
Friendly, yes,
Friendly
that's
mode,
the word.
yeah.
That's my English. Yeah, I'm trying to get across. Friendly mode. When was friendly mode introduced? Like, when did you realize, hey, we actually need to put it in friendly mode?
I think at some point I'm not sure exactly. Was it like the public playtest, or we just played it internally, and we figured that when you start the game, especially in the Act 1, and you just and you do not know how to play the game yet. But the neighbor was like full speed. He was like armed to teeth, and he just treat the player not as a new player, but just as a veteran player. And we thought, but we might kind of turn him down for Act One. And after that, I think it evolved for like a separate friendly mode, because we figured there might be people for whom this game feel too intense to play, even though like not only the beginning but the whole game as well. And then we implemented the friendly mode for those people to have fun with the game without being like too hardcore a player, because the Hello Neighbor genre is pretty tricky to play, especially when you're streaming and answering questions.
You are a champion for answering the questions and playing at the same time. Like that's a challenge. But it also goes back to what you said earlier about how games are for everyone, and that, you know, if you could make Hello Neighbor for everyone, you know, you would. And so I like having that concept of like, hey, like let's include other people so they can warm themselves up and go from like, you know, the basics of playing the game and getting used to the neighbor and him chasing you and the mechanics, to a more experienced like, hey, I'm a pro, you know, burglar, and I know how to get into your basement sort of thing. So
yeah, we're actually trying to implement this in a Hello Neighbor 2, but not only in a like difficulty mode, but we try to construct the game. I think the better comparison is to compare to like multiplayer games. I think I play Fortnite a lot lately. For some reason I just fell in love with it again. I played it when the Battle Royale mode just was introduced, and I was and I would back then I prayed for it to be on Switch, because I was like a big Switch player back then. But then I kind of left Fortnite for I don't know, like for a few years, and recently the new seasons was really great, and I played it so much. And the one thing about for example like multiplayer games such as Fortnite, it has like a different layers of difficulty. For example, if you're just starting the game is the rules of the game is just basic enough that you could understand it pretty quickly. Like the green guns are weaker than the blue ones. The blue like bottle they change your like status of your like shield, and the other stuff change your like health bar and stuff. And it's just pretty simple, and just survive the doom that is all around the map. But if you want to play it like really on a different level, you got to have some skills that you could gain playing the game, and that way, without having like a difficulty, the game could be appealing for the people who just started it, because there's a lot of mechanics that you understand and you could try, even though it might not work as well as you want it to be at first, but you still could progress in the game and reach a certain like scores. And we want to create a Hello Neighbor 2 in a kind of similar way, so players who are not that hardcore gamers, who could play like 120 FPS and stuff, could still have fun with game, interact with the AI, and like learn its learning capabilities and stuff. But for the players who really love this hardcore intense Hello Neighbor style gameplay, they could use different more complex mechanics to interact with the AI to have much more fun. And each person who started the game with like zero experience sometime later will reach the higher levels of like of the. It's like playing the Zelda Breath of the Wild. When you started it, you're like, I'm hitting the bushes with sticks and goblins on the head with this stick, and like a few 20 or 30 hours later, you're having like swords and
Flowing
shields.
swords.
Yeah, and you're just sliding as a like a snowboard from the mountain on your shield, and the game is
That
like.
one's fun.
And funny thing, when I played the Breath of the Wild, I figured like maybe mid game that I could slide on a shield, and the game is packed with a lot of small mechanics, and I really loved it, the way they created it, and I try to make people feel the same playing the Hello Neighbor, like when you have a lot of mechanics and you have free roam world, and you just like experiment with it, experiment with AI, and just as well move through the story also.
So Abaxi, this question's for Adam. Adam, what is your favorite part of Secret Neighbor?
Oh, favorite part of Secret Neighbor. That is tough. There's a particular moment, and it won't apply to all matches, but I would say my favorite moment for Secret Neighbor is in two parts. The beginning, when there's 6 players and you're down to 5, you know someone is active, you know someone is the neighbor, you don't know who, and everyone in your friend group is basically suspecting that it's that person, and the neighbor
They're either suspecting or acting super sus.
And the neighbor can still act freely, and so can the players. Everyone thinks like, okay, neighbor's here, we have time to find keys, open the basement door, get items, we're okay. And as soon as you have maybe 3 players left and you see the Raven has appeared, you realize, oh no, we gotta hurry. And everyone's scrambling. It's like you've gone from this calm, like suspicious detective game to like run for your life, get to the basement, open the door ASAP. And it's that transition from like the slow paced action, like here, let's set up some traps, let's figure out who's the neighbor, to pure chaos towards the end with jump scares galore. That's my favorite part right there, the transition. So those 2 phases. And this is I already answered that question. I'm trying to find what we haven't done.
Okay, playing the actual Hello Neighbor mode now. Sneaky. Oh no, not sneaky. Not sneaky at all.
Gonna mute my mic for 1 quick second.
Does anyone know in the chat where the crowbar is after it changes position?
I'm back.
So we could beat the Hello Neighbor way, like as a community. Oh my god, the wall just ate.
So we're phoning the audience now. And it looks like we're getting a sound. Oh, Devil Ninja has just said that the crowbar is in a wardrobe behind the house or in the garage.
Oh.
And
you,
yeah,
Diablo.
Golden Freddy Cinema said crowbars in the garage also. So, you guys are quick.
Rock.
Crowbar. So the game do have binoculars.
Binoculars.
Yeah, and the Faust. That is a fun thing. Okay. So should I run or should I just sneak? He's not watching TV. Ah. Oh yeah.
Nice. We got the loot.
And
What is that?
good thing I looked.
I got you.
But I checked the code, and it was 4785, I guess, and I pushed only 2 buttons, and we are 2 buttons away from beating the pre-alpha. On a
2 buttons away from victory.
yeah, but with such amount of blocked way and
Aww.
this stuff.
Golden Freddy Cinema says, "You're already my 3 favorite. Ari, Adam, and Nikita. I love your Christmas hat. Thank you.
Aww.
I wanted to be festive."
I wanted to ask, are those ears coming through the hat, or is that like a band?
No, I put them over the top.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, well, that's like a custom designed hat right there. Wow.
Oh, and for anybody in the YouTube that don't know, my handle on is and Discord and Twitter is Tiny Fox. So, Fox.
By the way,
I'm happy someone. Oh, it's like that meme when someone says like when you're wearing a nice hat and someone compliments you on it, and so many bear traps.
it's crazy.
Oh, I thought you were gonna. I thought. Oh, you missed that by like a millimeter.
So, okay. I have actually like a small statue of crow that was a light that I bought to light the room. It like a real sized crow with a cable going through the beak with a bulb.
Yeah, I've seen those. They're cool.
They are, but it worked for I don't know, for a few days for me, and then I somehow just either I pulled the cord or just somehow it fell on the floor, and it just stayed intact visually, but it just stopped working, and I just took the cable out, and I just have just a crow on my window, so every time everyone comes to me to see the crow. Wait a second.
Oh, he's gonna grab it. There you go.
We actually have an animatronic crow. Oh, I'll wait till he's back. So Nikita, you haven't been back. Oh, there he is.
Wow, that's really deep.
We have an animatronic crow that has red glowing eyes and makes the crow cawing sound and tilts its head. It's a Halloween decoration, but I actually was out and I saw it and I bought it for the office and I put it in the office because it was right after the Hello Neighbor anime series pilot came out, and so of course, you've been seeing the pilot and seeing it and watching it and doing so. So I'm walking through a craft store and I look over, I'm like, oh, you're coming home with me.
So this only window that is open. This is my no chance for me.
Man, he has really boarded up everything. He's like, you're not breaking in my house. Gotta keep these meddling kids out of my basement.
let's do this.
What's the plan?
I want to lure him with alarm clock and hide behind the car, and hopefully he will open the main entrance doors and do not close them after. Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
You can do it.
Yeah. Ooh. Just leave it open. Leave it open.
Oh, Nikita, Firefresh Gamer asked before the books, did you have the neighbor's name down, or was the name still an idea?
I think it's somewhat kind of was created simultaneously, I guess. Well, I think we created the name at the like early stages, either before the book or and the book picked up a name
So
later.
around the same time.
Yes, somewhere around that. Yes.
Does the neighbor have a middle name? Should I know this?
Oh. Even if he is, I could not tell it.
Okay, so occasionally there's a question where I'm like, I feel like I should know this.
Means we might discover that later
Community
on.
manager.
You're good, you're good.
Right, so.
Oh, one question I just saw that I thought was really good. Where'd it go?
Oh, the green light appeared.
Oh, so
Question for everybody. Oh, sorry, you go.
You first, you first.
I just asked one.
Okay, alright, well, this one, I lost it in the fast-paced movement of the YouTube stream, but one person asked, would you make another Hello Neighbor version that included all the features suggested in the Kickstarter? And maybe not all the ideas were implemented.
Since the Kickstarter failed, we and a lot of time passed, and the vision of the game changed a bit. To be honest, I don't remember all the stuff that was exactly listed in the Kickstarter, but some of the stuff, I think the general answer is a lot of stuff that we wanted to implement either during the Kickstarter or after that, that we had to scrap during the first game due to the lack of experience or the time. And a lot of this stuff I tried to kind of re-implement in the Hello Neighbor 2, because for most of us, Hello Neighbor 2 will be like I'm not sure how to say it, if it's the best way to say, but if we had that much experience in development that we had back then, like 5 years ago, like we have right now, we could create the game that is Hello Neighbor 2. So we gather so much experience now that we want to create the definitive Hello Neighbor we always wanted, with the complex AI, complex interactions and stuff. Even though
So I was gonna say, Hello Neighbor 2 is basically like the game of all games you've always wanted to make since the beginning.
In this particular genre, yes. There's a lot of stuff where, a team is not only became experienced, and we also grew bigger, and there's a lot of people right now, and each and everyone in the team is a really high skilled professional, and we all, most of us, we walk this path together, and we really have this tight bond between us doing all the game, because when we started the Hello Neighbor, we do not know nothing about the Unreal Engine and the development, and some of the stuff I thought, I did a few mobile games, I know how the game works. And when I actually started to develop the like console and PC game, and I was, nope, Nikita, you do not know nothing about developing a game.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Ari, you had a question for us?
Yeah, and it's for everyone. Where was it? Question for all of you. Who is your favorite Hello Neighbor character? Anybody who's in our Discord or follows our social media knows mine is Ember.
It's actually a pretty tough question.
But I do also like Scout, just because I do like. Oh, well, I guess that's not a Hello Neighbor character, Secret Neighbor character. But I like Scout and I like playing Scout because I can live out my childhood dreams of owning a shot because I never owned one.
I think for me, it's always changing, and at certain time of the day or of the week, it's a different character. And I think for most of us, or especially for the art part of our team, the new gods in as a characters in this universe is two policemen, and I do not know if you saw, right? And
From the diary.
yeah, we posted a few pictures. One like concept art that I drew on the mustached the policeman, and then we posted a screenshot of him standing like in the grass, and the second one is a concept made by the Yelena, our artist, the other policeman. And this duo is our new favorite, and we just love them. We just, and they have like a small spoiler for those who are on the stream.
I mean, I think we can get away with one small spoiler. Everybody's been waiting for it.
Those policemen,
Tiny spoilers.
yeah, have really awesome car, and we designed it like for a week, back and forth, trying to nail the design. So if you saw like the new iterations of the neighbor car in the Hello Neighbor 2, because the style is a bit evolved compared to the original game, and we tried to like improvise, trying to understand the style, the one we created ourselves, but it's still like it's hard to kind of like
unique to them.
Yeah, kind of to make like it as a system to understand why we're doing the art stuff the way we are doing it. And since when we like doing the I'm starting a new long rant, since we're while we're doing the first game and created the new art style, it was kind of like natural way to create the style without actually understanding why we do it the way we did it. And but now since the team growing bigger, and everyone especially on the art section should understand why they think the way they are, and we try to talk a lot and document about why what the like key features of the art style, and it evolved during the Hello Neighbor 2 development we already have. And as you can see, the game is a bit different visually, but it still have it like a Hello Neighbor-esque vibe to it, but it stepped a bit closer to the pre-alpha, I guess, with more like realistic foliage and some other parts of the game, as well as cars. If you've seen the neighbor car in the Alpha 1, in the ending of the Alpha 1, even though it has like characteristics of the neighbor car, it's huge, red and old, but it changed. It has more detail and a bit different style. And we tried to create the policeman's car the same way, and even just like the neighbor's car, the policeman's car is like just a separate character itself. And answering this, yeah,
sweet ride.
Yeah, and talking about the car rides, there will be some of them in Hello Neighbor. That's a spoiler. No one heard it.
In your in one ear, out the other.
By the way, I finished the alpha, the pre-alpha.
Oh.
Oh.
Even though there is
You did it.
no ending, and I am Harry Potter now.
Harry
You're just gonna hang out here.
Yeah.
Take a nap. You're tired.
Actually, it's a pretty funny concept to play as a child in a foster home.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a new Hello Neighbor idea. Well, to just to make everyone understand me correctly, that's not the actual idea behind the game, and I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
No, he just.
Oh,
and
Life asked, "What do you think about the memes about Hello Neighbor?" Well, I make some of them personally, so I like them. I like. I love memes. They're fun. And I do super appreciate finding some funny memes that people have made in our Discord or online or tagged us and stuff. Actually, just gonna throw this out there. We love all of your fan art and all of your fan creations. Like modding, that's super cool that you guys are just so creative. And like some of the fan art, I've been trying to showcase some like non-traditional fan art. We had a cake stream, or cake tweet thread not that long ago of people making like all of these crazy detailed neighbor cakes. Or just some non-traditional fan art. It's super cool. Please tag us, keep tagging us in all of the fan art and fan creations that you make. We do look at them and we share them internally. We really, really love seeing them and sharing them and just showing how creative our community can be. It's super cool.
it is. It's always a big fun for us to. I think there is not a single day for us not to share an image in our development chat of someone like drawing something or like doing a cake, or I thought that I saw that someone built the Hello Neighbor Act 3, the biggest house built with Lego, and I always wanted to do that, and when I saw how cool it can be, and at the same time I understood that there's no way I could build this cool with Lego, because I'm not that good with Lego.
They did it too good.
And it's like really big, like a meter in size. It's weird. There's a lot of work put into it. Amazing. So, what do you think about few more questions and kind of.
And then call them in a minute.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, we can do that. Because it's quite late for you. So everybody, just FYI, Nikita is staying up past his bedtime, but we're having fun hanging out.
Well, I would love to stay more, but we finished the alpha. But we still have time to answer more questions. No.
We could do a couple more questions.
Yeah.
Jackzilla asked, when did you first develop a goal for Hello Neighbor? Was there a goal at first besides going into the basement?
Good question.
Ooh, nice question. The funny thing, there was no basement at first, because one more thing I forgot to mention about thing that inspired me to create a Hello Neighbor is one particular scene in the. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it for a while. It's Orphan Black or something. The TV series. I think Orphan Black. For about the girl who had a lot of clones of her, and each clone had like a spy to monitor the clone. But each clone do not know about the other, and they just live their separate life and do not know about anything. So the one is like a businessman, the other a student, and they're all different people. And there was one particular scene in this series where one clone tried to find out who is this spy that monitors her, and she thought it was her. Well, there will be spoilers for first season, so if but since this series is now like 5 seasons or something, I think everyone already saw it who wanted to. Or you should turn off the mic for headphones for a minute if you don't want spoilers. So she thought it was her husband, like it was spy all those years, playing the role of her husband, and she tortured him, but he just seems like a normal husband. But she had like a weird neighbor lady who was kind of like mean to her, and she thought, well, if she's mean, she's probably the spy. And there was one situation when this neighbor lady got stuck in this I'm not sure how to call it, when in this kitchen, in the sink, you have this thing that kind of like destroys the food parts, kind of like I don't know how to call it. Well, she stuck her like part of the clothes stuck, and she started to like choke on it, and this and this clone lady, she had like opportunity to save her life or to just stand and watch, and she chose the second path because she thought she's a spy, and now she's kind of like doing the right thing to do. And after she done it, she was like, I get rid of the spy, and now I'm a free clone. And when she got back home, we see like her husband going in this evening for a jog, and he just sits to a really creepy car, and he was the spy the whole time.
Oh no.
Yeah, but this situation with the neighbor make me think about what can we do the such a game where the neighbor is just living his like daily life with his AI trying to make him alive as possible. So you could scare him, you could make him angry, you could like confuse him and stuff. And I thought that would be really cool to know if your neighbor is spying on you, by spying on your neighbor. And that was the first idea of the game. And I thought you could like crawl into his house, distract him, and make him scared to get him on edge, to see if he breaks like his role and reveal he's a spy. And that was the first idea. But when I thought about it more, game evolved, and it evolved into having like in this particular setup, having like basement, but or like just a room, boarded up room. And at first, a game is supposed not to tell the player to walk into that room. It was always like you are and your neighbor, who is either spy or not, and that's all. And while you trying to know if he's spy or not, you well, in my head, there was supposed to be like the player should see this particular closed room, which you never had access during the whole game. And I thought that would be really cool for a player to think, well, what is behind that room? Why is this such a big deal? But the game is at first was never intended to say anything about it. And when the player reaches that room, the game like opens the bigger, and you understand that the first part when you're trying to know the neighbor is your like spy or not, it was only like the mask. The game itself was like playing with you, and you're just supposed to like turn into a completely different game with the similar mechanics. Well, and that's I think the answer for the basement door. And after a while, it just evolved into a basement door being your like general goal, and open goal from the beginning.
That sort of reminds me of Spy vs. Spy.
Yeah, kind
of. Like the animated series.
Yeah, I used to love that. Wow, that's a throwback. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think I may have just dated ourselves, but Black Spy versus White Spy, but a classic cartoon and comics strip.
Okay.
So maybe one last question?
I think I might have one, and
Okay.
this might be a good one to end on. This is sort of a combination of two questions, but I think we can answer with one. Apollo, no, the chat just scrolled up and I lost it, but I do remember it. So Apollo on YouTube, thank you for the inspiration for this. Will Hello Neighbor 2 talk about the events of the first Hello Neighbor, and could Nikki potentially return?
Well, I can't say much, but we try to design the Hello Neighbor 2 the way that if you haven't played the first game, you kind of still should understand what's going on. So it's always best to create the second iteration of the game without really tie into the previous versions, so that people who skipped the first game should still will have fun and understand everything playing the second game. And sorry, what was the question?
Oh, so the question was from Apollo, and one of the persons, I'm combining the question into one, was, will Hello Neighbor 2 address any of the events that occurred in the first Hello Neighbor, and could Nikki make an appearance in Hello Neighbor 2?
Well, I don't want to say much, but about the Nikki appearance, but some of the known characters will be in the Hello Neighbor 2, and it will be fun for those who play the first game. Well, but it will be fun for everyone, kind of interacting with those characters. But it will be, I think, much more fun for those who play the first game, because they see the returning of some characters, but a few new characters as well.
Sounds good.
Cool.
I like that.
Very cool. Well, I think that's going to be our last question for today. But like we were saying, this was the first time we've done something like this. We had a lot of fun. If you guys liked it, please let us know, and let us know if you want us to do more. That's 100% something that we would want to do. Now, as always, it's almost time for us to wrap it up. Please feel free to thank you for hanging out with us. I'm a little tired too. So thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We love doing this, and like I said, we hope to do more in the future. If you would like, please follow us on social media. We are Games HQ across all socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and like I was talking about, we do love to showcase our fan creations and things that our fans send us, as well as, sometimes drop hints and little tips to new stuff coming out. Or feel free to hang out with us in our Discord, and that is discord.gd/neighborgames. We have some fun activities in there. Nikita, myself, Adam, we hang out in there, so if you want to kick it, have a chat, a lot of the time we do try to hang out there when we can, so feel free to find us there and check it out. I know we had a lot of questions, but we did try to get to as many as we could, and hopefully if we do this again, then we'll be able to answer questions. But thanks again for hanging.
Before we wrap things up, this stream we called the Time Machine, because we go back in time to play the original Hello Neighbor pre-alpha, and we really want to make it kind of serious to play. Well, it was my desire to make it a series to play all the alphas, to share all the memories we have, and answer all the questions you have. If you want us to continue this time machine thing and to play the alpha one, share your thoughts on it, and you can write me or Ari or Adam or anywhere at our Neighbor Games Discord and discuss it. Or maybe you could have some ideas how to improve our stream.
If you want to see something, let us know.
And we would gladly to make it even better for us. And I think that is a huge thing for me, is being like in my first stream, like with a camera and the mic, and I really growing fond of this setup, and I think I might even start a YouTuber career in the spare time.
Do it.
Ooh.
And,
Do
and
it.
I'm yeah, and I might stream a few games in my weekends. And well, you could check my Instagram for announcements if there will be any, but I hope so.
If you end up doing it.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be super cool.
I'd watch you.
Okay, so thank you everyone for watching us talk and play and answer your questions. We're really glad that you all gathered here with us and share us this experience with everyone here. And that's all, I guess. Good night for someone, and a good day for other part of the
Great.
the
Good night,
globe.
good morning, good afternoon.
Not everyone.
Night, everyone.